Okay, guys, let me just tell you the worst cheating scandal that has ever entered my DMs, ever. So basically, this lady was married to her husband for 14 years in total. So about 6 years in, he had to move to another state because of work. So around the seventh year, 8th year, she asked him, because they had 5 children, but they were all girls. She asked him, do you want us to try again so that we can get a boy? But he was like, nah, whatever God has blessed us with. Because she didn't want him to step out because in her culture, men really want sons. So she didn't want him to step out just because she wasn't able to give him a son, in her opinion. Okay, cool. So about 8th year, 9th year, she was asking him, should me and the kids move to your state so we're all together? He was like, nah, that where you're living in that state, I own that house, but where I'm staying, I rent. So it doesn't make sense to bring you and the 5 kids to come and rent with me, right? Cool. So he said no. So fast forward their 14th year anniversary. Every anniversary, she cooks, gets the kids dressed up, and then he comes and they celebrate. This year, she called him. He didn't pick up. Bear in mind, the kids are already dressed. She's already cooked. She's already excited to see her husband. But he did not turn up. So she was angry, like, what the heck? Sent the kids to bed, settled down. Next day, someone calls her that she needs to come to this hospital, that her husband is in hospital. Bearing in mind, the hospital that they're calling from is like an hour away from her house, not the other state that he's meant to be in. So she's thinking, what's her husband doing there? So she drove down there, saw her husband. He's been beaten up black and blue. She's thinking, what the heck happened to my husband? Finds out that her husband has a girlfriend that has a son for him, allegedly. So her husband and his girlfriend got into an argument and he slapped the girlfriend. The girlfriend went to go and tell her other boyfriend. He brought boys to the house and beat the hell out of her husband. Allegedly, the girlfriend has a son for him, but because she has several boyfriends, you can't say is that his son or not. Cool. So the husband, after a week, was able to open his eyes, was talking to her, was begging her that forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. So she forgave him. Now, after she forgave him, like a day or two later, her husband passes away. The trauma to his brain was too much. So I'm thinking, wow, this story is really sad. She was like, no, that's not the end of it. That's not even the beginning of how her life got turned upside down. And I was like, what? There's more. Huh? So after her husband passes away, she's obviously mourning her husband, crying, went back to the house. Oh, a little while later, the girlfriend comes saying that I'd like my house, please. And she's like, are you crazy? What do you mean you'd like your house? You have 1 child for him. I have 5 kids for him. We've been married 14 years, blah, blah, blah. That's when the family lawyer came in. Basically, before the husband died, he wrote a will and he gave everything to his son. He willed everything to the son. Nothing for the wife, nothing for his 5 children. So the house they were living in was hers. Everything he had, he gave to the son. And I was like, what the hell? So her and her 5 kids, bear in mind, she's been a housewife for 14 years, had to leave the house, and then the girlfriend sold the house. To me, this is just the height of betrayal. You know what I mean? Like, this is the height of betrayal. Anywho, she said that her local community came together, saved money for her, and she was able to get like a little apartment. And I think she's doing well, has her own business and stuff like that. But you lot just comment and tell me what you lot think, because I thought my heart was like, oh my God.
I'm proud of it, man enough to admit it, and I mean it. I'm not proud of this. When I was 23 years old, prefrontal cortex developed. Do not trust a man in his early 20s. They cannot think straight, and it's not their fault. I took a trip to Miami with my guy friends, and my girlfriend of 2 years went with her girlfriends. We went for Art Basel. When I get to the place that I'm staying in Miami with my guy friends, it's supposed to just be one of their girlfriends, and that's it for girls, but there's another girl there. Immediately, me and this girl have crazy chemistry and hit it off like undeniable. And obviously I know I have a girlfriend. We did not do anything. There might have been some suggestive talking, but the chemistry was so intense, you could not deny it. The day that I get back from the trip, I tell my girlfriend of 2 years, we need to break up. The next day, I start seeing Miami girl and we go hot and heavy for 7 days. We're hanging out almost every day, sleepovers, going out together, doing it all. After about 7 days, I freak out, think, what have you done? You need to get back with your girlfriend. That was a crazy reactive move. And I call my girlfriend and say we should get back together. We do. We date for another year. until she eventually is scrolling on Instagram one day and comes across Miami Girl's profile. On her profile, she sees a photo from the exact short 7-day window that we were broken up where I liked a picture, and she calls me, says, "Who is XYZ? Why did you like her photo? And did you do XYZ with her in that window?" I said, "Yes, I did." We broke up on the spot, and we haven't spoken since.
Okay, so I've been working through this cheating scandal in therapy, right? And my insinuating trust issues that have come to the surface. And one of the real twists of the knife that happened was when I first found out that my ex was cheating and that woman sent me all of their screenshots of their little conversations, I was like, holy shit. And I looked at the date of one of their conversations and I was like, what were he and I talking about on that day? Because like, how could these two things be happening at once? So I scrolled back in our text thread to read our conversation from one of these days, and the way my jaw dropped when I saw what he said to me. So he was being very quiet that day, right? And I had noticed because Aries. And I say to him like, hey, you're not being like as responsive as you normally are. What's going on? And I think I made a joke like, you talking to someone else? Obviously not thinking that he actually was. This man says to me, you know, an accusation is usually an admission of guilt. While he's actively sending beep, beep, pictures elsewhere. He's insinuating that because I'm asking if he's talking to someone else, that must mean that I am the one that's cheating. Whoa. Hey. Whoa. The mental gymnastics. The mind games. Honestly impressive. If my gas wasn't lit before then, I don't know what would do it.